There is a street you know well. It has no end, but it has a beginning. Walking down its rain-splattered pavement, you see windows looking down upon you. Some are lit bright with the light of reason, while others remain as dark as the bottom of our deepest horrors. You pass under streetlights flooding you with sounds and images, walking past doors of ideas and doubt. You are late, so you duck under the lint to a place of welcoming warmth. It is remotely possible that the sign above the bar says, "The Double Dragon Trouble Stream, Episode 42.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. What is going on?
Hello and welcome to Double Dragon Trouble, our weekly D&D stream, where we play a game of, surprisingly enough, D&D. Homebrew D&D, set in the Forgotten Realms, with dragons all over the place. They've taken over the world, but luckily we have heroes who are fighting against them. I'm your Dungeon Master for the night, Thijs Petersener, joining our Chris Jørgensener, playing Balthazar, the ASMR Warlock. And Luca Sparrow, playing the Throgar World Throne, the Angry Dwarf Barbarian. So our two other players are sick, and they're also under the weather. So they will not be joining us today. But let us take a brief recap of what has happened so far. Last time you returned from the Feywild after your mission to recover the souls of Dagus and Dinok. One current party member and one former party member. When you got out of the portal, you were directly confronted by Sora, the blue half-dragon, captain of the dragon cultist caravan that you were supposed to track and discover the purpose of. You had disguised yourself as elves from the Unseelie court, so she assumed that you were from that court and demanded to know why you were taking so long. Where were the soldiers you had promised to the expedition? Then you went about knocking her down, but when you got out into the courtyard, you were assaulted by the horsemen, the 5 horsemen of the dragon cultists. You managed to defeat them with a bit of aid from some elves that showed up in the nick of time. The same elves that you met on your way into the fortress of Kars. They shared their provisions with you, set up camp, and told you that the dragon cultists and their allies had left Kars to march upon the grandfather tree to the north. They themselves were going there to join the fight. They joined the defense of the grandfather tree, and you vaguely promised that you would aid them. Then, for some reason, Dinok and Bright Scratch, after interrogating Sora, let her go. So maybe we'll see her again.
Yeah.
Probably. And that is pretty much where we left off. When the elves left first, then Sora went off on a horse, leaving 4 horses left in the courtyard of the old fortress. So just to set the scene, you are standing in the courtyard of this fortress made of black stones. Littered about the courtyard are all kinds of remnants from the cultist camp. Some worn down tents, some forgotten boots, a broken sword, that kind of stuff, broken pottery. It is morning. The sun is rising somewhere beyond the trees. And you can hear the faint clatter of hooves as Sora makes her way away from the fortress into the forest. Welcome back.
Thank
What
you.
do you want to do?
It's quite weird. We're in a new situation every time because we're like switching the players.
It feels as if I just black out and then come back. An entirely different situation.
So last time you were actually here, you just got out of the portal. So a bit of stuff has happened.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Do I still have Freya?
Yes, she is still wrapped in the blanket.
Cool.
Oh, sorry. Your cloak.
My
It's not a
cloak.
blanket.
Same function.
Yeah, I suppose.
Somewhat.
I'm sure Taylor would disagree, but none of us are tailors.
No. Were the elves still here?
No, they left.
Oh, okay. I don't know where the
You
grandfather
also
tree
made
is.
a agreement that they would leave markings for you to follow if you wanted to join
Right.
the red lady at the grandfather tree.
Right.
Hmm.
I assume Bright Scratch and D-Knock are just kind of vacant-eyed.
Yeah, they let Sora go, then they looked at each other, made a high five, and then just
God damn
started
it.
to draw. It's like that game, what's called Everyone's John, or something like that, where you have to control the same character and everyone's double dragon trouble. Lucan will approach, is still holding the bundled staff under his arm.
Right.
He's
And
still
you-
here, that's
He'll
right.
look at you. I can gather that you intend to aid the elves at the grandfather tree. Is that the course of action you're going to follow?
I mean, sounds like it.
Yeah.
I'm not really the leader of the group.
Well, the leader of the group seems a bit vacant at the moment, so I'm going to address you too. You seem to be the most, with the greatest presence of mind, if you will.
I assume you're asking because you want to go back to Waterdeep as fast as possible.
Correct. Risking sounding cowardly, I would prefer not to join you at the battle. Not that I fear the dragon cultist or doing my bit, but I think that this staff and its deliverance to Waterdeep is more important. Cannot be risked by taking the staff into battle.
I understand. It is risky going alone as well, though.
Indeed, so I would propose that I and my sister would stay here at the fortress for a few days until we get some kind of word from you. If we don't, then at some point I'd expect we would have to go on our own, but if you would return here, then we would still wish to travel with you to Waterdeep.
Yeah, that sounds like a decent plan.
This staff could be the key to liberating Waterdeep. Bless you.
Perhaps you should keep Jimbo with you as well. If you're okay with that, Jimbo.
Well, I would say I never said I'm much of a fighter.
Exactly.
We can see that.
So I figure if you stay here,
Hey.
stay here, and
I might just get in the way of all you fighters.
And then we will return and bring you to Daggerford.
That sounds wonderful. And Lucan nods. Yes, that seems reasonable.
But, Grbalusht, I assume you'll want to join us.
Of course. I will not leave this to you on your own.
Does anyone here know anything about the grandfather tree? Or the, anyone within it, or...
Make history checks to see if you know anything.
Let's see.
My digital dice. I have that.
I assume this tree was there when I was there as well, so let's see.
Yeah, it's...
I know nothing. 8.
8? Alright.
4.
4? Alright, none of you know anything about it. You never heard about it before we came here. Yeah.
Right.
Everyone just looks at each other. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Worth a shot.
Let's just go.
I never heard about this tree before. I mean, before we came here.
Well, I believe the elves said that they would leave some sort of trail. So, guess we should just follow.
I guess we will see what the tree is when we get there.
Yeah. Want to take guesses? I'm thinking a big old tree.
That's what they said. That's not a guess.
No, I don't know.
No. Come on. Guess now. What kind of tree do you think it is? An oak?
Could be.
I'm just kidding, Balthasar.
Oh, well. These are the big questions. Anyway, let's, yeah, we might as well go. I mean, we don't want to show up mid-battle. The sooner we get there, the better.
So you are 4 players, including Gribbelusht. So, and you have 4 horses in the courtyard.
Yeah, that works. And we just have to find the trail. I don't know what... Did they agree to any specific kind of trail? Is it just like breadcrumbs? Or...
Well, the leader of the elves kind of went over to you and then explained in detail what kind of signs they would be. So you know exactly what kind of signs.
Perfect.
It's those really annoying elven rooms that can only be seen in full moonlight and on the 3rd of October.
Shit. We're late.
But it's October tonight! How can it be October tonight?
Yeah, let's go.
Alright,
I'm gonna start going.
Will take 1 horse for himself because he's a big lad.
I'm gonna throw Freya on the back.
Oh,
good.
Yep, exactly. Just secure her on there.
Alright. I think Dinok and Bright Scratch can fit on 1 horse because they are light people.
Damn elves and cats.
Bathroria can have your own horse, so yeah, you all have horses.
Yay!
Excellent.
Perfect.
You
let's go.
Circle the horses around a bit just for the dramatic effect, kicking up a bit of dirt and some leaves, and then right out of the courtyard as Lucan and Elisana kind of like waves at you. Safe travels! Or I mean, well, technically you're going to battle, so and then you get away from him and you can't hear the rest of the sentence. That sounded wrong.
Well.
You whip down the causeway leading up to the fortress, and you head into the trees, and almost immediately you find a blue light on one of the trees that kind of looks like a compass pointing in a direction made of slight blue light.
Interesting. Do you wanna take
also
the lead?
See a clear path through the forest of trampled bushes and broken trees where branches have been snapped off, and you can see entire trees that has just been tumbled over. And this trail of destruction just heads into the forest in a straight line, heading north.
That seems like cultist work.
You can see a lot of footprints on the ground as well. No respect for nature.
Yeah, I'll take the lead. I'll shut anyone down if I see them.
Good choice.
So you want to follow the trail of destruction or the marker? Kind of like this compass marker points slightly to the left of this trail of destruction.
Well, I guess if we were told to follow the markers.
Makes sense.
Follow the markers. Although, I would like to destroy something. What do you think?
I say we follow the markers for now.
Cool.
I think you'll get plenty of time with your axe later.
Yay.
You look at your watch. It's not X o'clock yet. You're right in the direction that the marker shows. And after a while, you find another one on a tree pointing slightly in another direction, so you correct your course. And you get the sense that these markers lead you vaguely in the same direction as the path of destruction, but kind of like skirting it, just out of eyesight from the place. So you assume if you went directly east, you would hit the path of the cultists.
That makes sense.
After an hour, you see that there's this. It's like snow in the air. It's snowing.
Huh.
And you can see there's snow on the leaves of the bushes and that kind of stuff.
How Christmassy.
Yeah. However, when you went through Daggerford, of course, in Waterdeep, it was snow and blizzards and hell. But outside, it was pleasant, like spring or early summer. And the forest around you is still pretty warm. It's a nice day. But you can still this snow thing starts to all around you.
Can I see if it's actually snow or ash?
You
I've seen
reach
that
out
before.
and grab one of the snowflakes, and you squeeze it between your fingers, and it turns into this fine gray powder.
Oh,
Well, shit.
damn it.
I suggest we hurry.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Do you want to really push it?
I say yes. At least
I
don't
say
know.
yes.
All right. Make animal handling checks as you
God.
just whip the horses
Oh no.
into a frenzy flight through the forest.
Come on.
Oh, I'm proficient at this.
Oh,
Yay! Let's
11?
see.
11.
I just need to do math.
Grabois does extremely well. He's like handling this horse like he was born in the saddle. Yeah, oh, hey, yo.
Yeah, I'm doing well too, 21.
But you're doing even better than Grabois. Hey, yo, hey.
Is that how you do good on a horse? Just
Yeah,
noises.
you have to say it
Yeah,
like
you.
like with the reins around it. You'd think that would make it harder. But, when you're 11, you're kind of like, whoa, trying to keep up. You don't fall off the horse, but you can see both Dina and Brightscratch are having such a hard time riding this horse. It's just, and then they hit a branch, both of them, so they get knocked off the horse.
Oh my god.
So even though you do manage to race the horses through the forest, you don't make it any faster because you have to pick them up once in a while.
Oh, god damn it.
Great.
Like you're just
Once in a
this.
while. It happens more than once.
Yeah. You're just traveling and you're getting into it, Balthazar. You're like, yeah, yeah. Also riding down narrow paths and stuff, and then they get hit by another branch.
God damn it.
Wait for them again.
All right.
As you progress throughout these hours of travel, the ash snow becomes heavier, covering everything, and just at a glance, it looks like you are riding into like a winter wonderland. Except everything is just a bit too grey instead of white. Until you get to a point where it covers the entire ground, on all the leaves of the bushes, dropping down from the leaves above you, covering your faces, and you're getting covered in ash yourselves as you ride swiftly through the forest.
Good times.
As evening approach, you get to a clearing, also covered in ash. To your left, in the western distance, you can see a range of mountains, the peaks of which are covered with actual snow. And in front of you, to the north, and slightly to the east, you can see a tall tree sticking out from the surrounding forest. It is a fir tree, a point that sticks up. All the branches covered in white ash. You also get a sense of the direction of the ash now that you get a clearer view. You can see to the east where you would expect the trail of destruction to be. There's an orange glow in the sky.
Oh. Should we just keep going for the big tree, or should you want to investigate? Even though that's risky.
I don't want to invest. It's too exciting.
I mean, you're welcome to, but keep your distance.
Yeah.
Alright, you wanna... Alright, do you dismount and do it on foot, or do you ride?
I guess I do it on foot. I don't want to risk the horse.
How far away is this glow, like, approximately?
Yeah.
Well, maybe 500 feet or so.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll keep your horse ready.
Alright, you can hold the horse. Alright. So, Bethroga, you head into the forest in the direction of the fire.
Yes.
Presumably it's a fire. We don't know it's a fire yet. It could be anything. Make
Just a big
stealth
lamp?
check. Yeah, just a huge lava lamp. Make
What's the modifier for stealth?
Dexterity.
Dexterity. Math. 16.
16.
Could you stop?
They all just turn their heads like.
Yeah. The fuck.
You make your way through the forest, and you're being pretty stealthy. It also helps with the heavy cover of ash that kind of like muffles all your footsteps. As you get closer, you can see flickers of orange ahead. You can smell the wood fire burning somewhere in front of you. And you get close enough to see between the distant trees flames. And you can see some people in spiky armor and billowing white cloaks shooting fireballs at trees and at the undergrowth and that kind of stuff. Kind of like marching in front of the column of the dragon cultists, clearing the way with fire. Then you can see there are 3 scouts nearby, kind of like on picket duty, and they haven't spotted you as far as you can see, but they are looking around in your direction. They look vigilant.
Well, that doesn't seem good.
Make a perception check.
What's the modifier for perception?
I think it's wisdom.
I don't remember anything. 17.
17. Alright, you take a while to kind of like get a sense of the forces in front of you. And you can see at least 50 dragon cultists. Some carrying crossbows, some swords, some spears, some wearing ropes and flinging spells in front of the column. You also see maybe 100 mixed kobolds and dwarves marching with them as well. And then the ground shakes as what appears to be like the crossover between a giant and a troll comes into view amongst the trees.
Shit.
Well, I just try to sneak my way back
Alright.
to where from I came.
Alright, make a stealth check.
Oh, please. Please. Natural 20!
Alright. You see all this? Oh shit. And then just hover back, making no sound at all.
Like like a ghost.
Then 10 minutes later, one of the scouts gets to your position, looks down at the footsteps. I think there's been, I don't know, could be anything. A rabbit? I don't know. And then he walks off.
Rabbit.
You get back to the party, and you do it so quietly that Beth, so you don't even know she's back.
Welcome back.
I saw a lot. The dragon cultists, they're burning down the forest. There were about 50 of them and 100 kobolds and dwarf, and then a giant just rampaging. It doesn't seem very good.
No, I would agree. Well, let's hope the elves have forces of their own.
I hope
That's all
so.
we can do. But let's see if we can beat the dragon cultists then. So we should probably get a move on.
Indeed. Let's follow the signs.
Alright. You want to do it speedily again?
I say we go for it.
Alright.
Try.
Let's forget about having checks. Oh dear. Oh!
16.
Oh no.
16.
7.
God damn it!
Alright, so strange enough, things have changed. That's a saw. You're doing worse than before. So it's the Throgo. As you make your way. But Grbalusht, it's a complete transformation. He can't ride the horse at all. Like, hits directly into trees, falls off the horse all the time, and then it throws a horseshoe, and you have to put that back on. Meanwhile, Bright Scratch has just become a master horseman. Like, hey, ho, hey-ya! But in total, Grbalusht slows you down so much that it is slower than if you just moved at a regular pace. It's just all the time. You think, alright, now we're making progress, and then you hear, ding! The horseshoe falls off again. It was a natural one.
Great.
God damn it, Grbalusht!
So
Alright.
it is late night before you make your approach towards the grandfather tree. You can see the markings start to turn towards the tree, and you can see it's approaching. Your progress, if you will, is very evident from the side of this tree approaching through this kind of like winter forest now, full of ash. But it looks festive anyway. And then you break into a large clearing around the grandfather tree. There's a large fir tree in the middle with roots sticking up out of the ground, and you can see several passages leading down between the roots into the ground under the tree. In a circle around the tree there are lesser trees, oak trees, but in any other place they would have seen gigantic, enormous old oak trees. But here, compared to the grandfather tree, they seem small. And erected between these oak trees are barricades made of wagons, tables, even some cut down trees, branches, all kinds of stuff, rocks piled up to form some kind of defensive barrier. It is late evening, so the sun has set behind the mountains to the west. And you can see all among the leaves of the trees, you can see faint lights lighting up the whole tree. And from the light of torches down amongst the barricades, you can see elves moving around, some patrolling. You can see a few horsemen riding into camp, jumping off the horses and running towards a tent near the roots of the great tree. Just at a glance, taking into consideration the darkness, there doesn't seem to be that many elves.
Great.
Damn it.
Guess this is our destination.
You can make a perception check if you want to see if you can make a good estimate.
Sure. 17.
17. You count roughly. You do have dark vision, as far as I remember.
Yep.
You count around maybe 30 or 40 elves.
Alright, that's a bit less than the cultists. Hopefully they're really powerful.
There's a horseman now approaching you from the camp.
Oh.
And he stops his horse close to you. He's wearing a heavy green cloak with a hood over his head. And you can see his elven features within. And he has a sword drawn. And he looks at you. Who are you?
We're here to help against the cultists. We
Are
met
you the
two
ones
of
we
your.
expect?
Yeah, I assume so. Perhaps we
We met-
met some of your compatriots over at the fort.
Alright. Gildas told us you would come. He looks at you. They're not as many as we expected. Where's the half-elves? The gnome.
They had to stay back.
Alright. Well, you are welcome to join. We have heard about you in advance.
Right.
The Red Lady is willing to speak to you if you're interested. It sounded as if you were coming to offer some kind of aid.
Yeah. Seems like it. Well, we would like to speak to her.
Very well. Well, follow me. It's right this way.
All
And he
right.
turns the horse around, still looking at you for a moment. Then he sheathes the sword and rides back to camp.
Yeah, we just follow.
Alright. Well, hey! Just at full speed. Hey!
Just pass him.
Riding through the tent. No, you make it down to the barricades, and you can see they are manned by elven warriors with bows and swords. They look all right. They look competent.
Alright.
And when you get into the camp, you can see there are some other tents to the sides, and just looking through some of the flaps, you can see lines of people lying on pallets inside, and you can hear coughs coming from inside. People in white robes moving amongst them, providing various magics and potions and that kind of stuff. It seems there's quite a few of these people lying down, outnumbering those on their feet.
Great.
But you can also see there's some other tents with fresh fighters looking up at you as you pass by, exchanging kind of like words and glances. And then you get to the main tent made of red cloth, and from inside you can see a warm glow coming out through the canvas. And the rider gets off. Just wait here for a moment. And he walks into the tent, and the guards look at you. And then he comes back out. The Red Lady is ready to see you.
Great. Where should we
Yeah.
hitch our horses?
Oh, he snaps his fingers some of his guards. Could you? Of course, we'll do it right away. And they grab the reins.
Thank you. Oh, that's a corpse on the back of mine. Just be careful.
Do you want us to do anything with it?
Do you have time to bury it? Or at least prepare a burial?
Well,
Or at least just keep it somewhere safe till after this is over.
I can have a word with one of our clerics. Maybe they have a moment to spare.
That would be greatly appreciated.
Very well. He walks off into the night. Then one of the other guards take the reins and bring the horses to the sides. You can see there's kind of like a stable area with some other horses. And the guard holds open the flap to the red tent.
I head in.
Alright. I assume both of you head in. Alright. You go inside, and it's a nice tent. There's some furniture and stuff. You've been in quite a few commanders' tents.
Yeah.
So when you see one commander's tent, you've seen them all. But this is very elaborate. There's like a harp in the corner and a selection of weapons over there. Very beautiful carpets on the ground.
Nice.
A map of the world over there and bookshelf. It's really cramped with shit. And then behind a desk looking at a map is an elderly woman wearing a long red dress with the black ribbons holding it like around the elbows and shoulders and that kind of stuff. And she looks up to you when you enter. Greetings.
Greetings. Here we are.
Here you are. I heard you were coming to offer some kind of aid. My name is Morgwes.
Jesus, these notes.
I'll let you write that in your notes.
Thank you. How do you spell
How do you
it?
spell that?
MOR
Hmm.
GWAIS.
Yes. A classic
Don't worry
name.
about it. I get this all the time. It's a strange name for the human populations. Anyway, welcome. I didn't get your names from the scout. He was in a hurry.
I'm Balthazar.
I am Bathroka.
Very well.
And
I will-
there's the others.
Gerbelicht. I'm Gerbelicht.
Alright.
Well, I was told that you were willing to offer some kind of aid.
I think that's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
You probably got a sense of our situation when you arrived. Presumably you do know about the cultists and the allies approaching.
Yeah. We
Oh,
also
yes.
seem to have gathered that you are greatly outnumbered.
Yep. Very much so.
Not to be all harsh about it, but
No, it is the reality. We have we counted 50 fighting warriors. The rest have been struck by disease. A very unfortunate timing, and it seems that our magic has little effect on it. So I suspect it might be the dreaded dragon plague.
Dragon Plague.
You haven't heard?
No.
No, but to be fair, I haven't heard a lot of things that happen.
Where have you been the last 40 years?
It's a long story.
Drunk.
Not here.
Alright, well, the plague was a big problem during the war. It kind of like died down, but it seems to be cropping up at the most inopportune moments. It has claimed most of my people. We had almost 300 ready fighters a week ago.
Oh.
But that is the situation we have to make do. We are making every preparations we can do. My scouts tell me that the force approaching numbers in the hundreds.
Well, it's 150 it seems, and one giant beast.
A Fomorian.
A Fomorian, indeed.
So I assume they made a pact with the Unseelie.
I can't affirm that. I just seem to have gathered that they have a Fomorian, and then 50 dragon cultists and 100 kobolds and dwarves.
Sounds like you've only seen part of their force then.
Well, that's depressing.
The plan was that we were going to make a running battle almost from the walls of the fortress, picking them off here and there, but they seem to anticipate this and are just burning down the whole place. Pretty difficult to set up any kind of defenses that way. So here we are. Pretty in a desperate situation. If you are interested in aiding, we have something you could do.
Do tell.
Oh, do tell, indeed.
Not far from here, there's a village. It is the home of my tribe. And also the seat of the Kerli Khan, which is kind of like the council of the forest, though not all tribes have accepted its authority. The cultists have sent a detachment to attack this village, and I am reluctant to set warriors in its defense, but on the other hand, at the end of the day, I do value the people more than I value this tree and this place.
Yeah.
But if you could go and defend the village instead, then I could spare the warriors for the coming fight. Not that you would not be less valuable here, but my warriors are used to fighting together. We have our ways, so inserting you into the whole fighting structure would be easy if you could deal with this on your own.
Yeah, makes sense. Do you know how many dragon cultists are going to the village?
My scouts report that it is a contingent of the kobolds. They're traveling in a construction towards the village.
Okay.
There are not many. My scouts report 20, 30 at the most.
Alright. It shouldn't be a problem.
I think we can deal with that. Can we deal with that?
I think we can. If we help you here, which we will. Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Just
Please, just wreck my
knocking
tent.
everything over.
Like you're leaning against the globe.
You have any powerful wizards in your, or know of any around here? I figure you elves live a long time. It's a possibility of
some wizards. Not the most powerful. The most powerful elves you would find in this forest belong to a clan that has not engaged with the rest of our community, if you will. It was my ambition before the dragons came to unite the tribes of the high forest, but that kind of like got a bit interrupted, that whole plan. We have competent clerics, and I myself is one, I would say, of some skill.
Well, I suppose we can use that as well.
Do you have any?
Do you know how to bring someone back from the dead?
I do. I've done it.
Well,
Of course,
This
it's
isn't-
a powerful spell and will require some preparation, but it is definitely doable.
well, this is my business, but the rest of the party lost a companion prior to my joining. I don't know if they're
I see.
interested in getting him back.
We would indeed be grateful if it would be possible to bring him back.
Do you have it with you at this moment? I heard that there was a body on one of the horses. Couldn't help through the tent.
Oh, yeah, that's not him.
That's not him, no.
He's we left him in the forest with some centaurs.
Well, there's not a lot of centaurs in this part of the forest.
Oh, it's not directly here. It's
Anyway, it's details. Of course, if you were to aid and we were to be successful in the defense, there's no reason why I wouldn't help you with this.
that seems like a deal then.
Indeed.
Very good. The other body you brought, you're not going to do anything with that, or
It's sort of a long story, but it's a child. I thought it fit to bury her in this realm, this plane. We found her in another.
well, it is of course up to you. If you wish for it to be brought back, that can be done. But if it is a burial you seek, then I can spare a cleric for the proper rites.
Well, it depends. I've always understood resurrection magic to be something very difficult and sometimes expensive.
It is to the
reagents.
unskilled. To the skilled, it's mostly a matter of reagents, really.
So would it be possible for us to get 2 resurrections if we aid you?
If we are successful, then of course.
Thank you.
And if you manage to save my village as well, we are in eternal debt to you. But we are talking and the cultists are advancing every second.
Right, we should move. Which direction was the village? And is there any
Directly
smart
to the
way to
east.
get there?
Go east, then follow the brook. Lead straight to it.
We will
Very
be right on it.
Indeed.
Excellent.
I just bow and
Please, not some such formalities.
I heard you were called the
It's
Red
not-
Lady. That's anyway. I'm
It's
not
not
used to
Silver
lords
Moon.
and ladies.
Well, I'm just the elder of my tribe, trying to unite the rest.
Well, as you said, we're talking too much.
Yes, indeed.
Good luck with the battle.
If you are successful with the defense, which of course I hope you are, then
We will return to help.
feel free to return. We might need you here.
Yes. All right. Well, I go. I just head back
Let's
out.
go.
Well, best of luck. As she returns to the map, you can see it's a crude map of the surrounding area with the trees and barricades and stuff. Alright, you head back outside.
Look for the horses. Where did they take?
They are directly above you.
Oh shit!
Ah,
Roach, get down!
It's like all the way in the top of the tree. You look around and the elf see you coming out of the tent, and he pulls the horses away from the water troughs and hands the reins back to you.
Thank you.
All in all, it's my job.
Still, a thanks is in place.
Indeed, you're very kind.
You ready to go, Bavaroga?
yes.
And Gurbalush and Dinok and... Wait,
I
maybe-
was born ready, and gets into the saddle.
Oh,
Right
Jesus.
Script and Enoch doesn't really have a choice.
They just
Ah.
silently nod.
Just place
Climbing
them on the
into
saddle.
They're still not sitting on the horse. Haven't moved.
Hmm. All right. Then I suppose we should ride fast.
We can
Well,
at least try.
When I say ride, maybe not as fast as we did before.
So just.
When I say
normal
ride
pace.
fast, I really just mean ride now.
Alright. So you head out and you follow the instructions. You head east and then you find the brook. And you can see there's a path running along the brook. And it takes maybe a quarter of an hour before you can see the land rise in front of you. The brook turns to the left and arcs around a cliff formation. And on top of the formation, you can see a few trees with some buildings inside. And as you curve around, you find this kind of like a horseshoe of cliffs with a village centered inside it, sheltered, if you will. And there's a small palisade blocking off the bottom of the horseshoe. And you can see a few warriors on the parapets, but not a lot. And they hail you as you approach. Who goes there?
The Red Lady sent us.
Are you the reinforcements we requested?
I assume we are now.
We assume
Approach.
so.
Approach. Are you still dressed as a dragon cultist?
Yeah, I guess I am, just without the cloak.
As you approach, you can hear both being drawn.
Also, I'm not a dragon cultist. This is stolen.
How? Prove it.
How?
You can hear that's the conversation behind the parapet. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Screw Tiamat.
Oh, well, I suppose that's good enough. Approach.
That was easy.
And you're allowed to approach the gate. It's a small, pretty much just a palisade with a fence around it. They hold up lanterns as it's getting dark now. As you approach. That's not a lot of you.
No, but we're very capable.
I hope so.
Do you have any idea what's coming?
We have heard reports, but no one's telling me anything. And certainly no one's telling them anything. And he points at the 5 other warriors he has with their bows and their swords. And you can see, even for elves, these looks old. Grey hair and slightly wrinkled. We were heard about some kind of construction making its approach. We don't know anything more about that. It could be anything. But we have heard it's not a lot of kobolds, so I suppose if you are capable, we can hold them off.
Have you considered what kind of construction this might be?
I don't know. I haven't gone myself. We only know what the scouts told us. They were very vague.
Great scouts.
That's scouts for you. You're not a scout, I hope.
No.
Oh.
Well, so do you have a defensive strategy in mind? Except for just shoot arrows?
I assume we would use the palisades as defense, and then we would shoot arrows from the parapets, and then we would hope that we could kill all the kobolds before they broke through. And if they indeed were to break through, then we would draw our swords, and then I presume we would engage the kobolds in close quarters, and hopefully we'll be able to defeat them with our swords. And if we were not, then I suppose we would die.
Doesn't sound like much of a plan, but it seems like what I do most of the time.
Well, if you have any better ideas, we are more than willing to listen.
Well, Balthasar comes with the great battle strategies. They kind of just chop things down on command.
All right, he turns to Balthasar. Great strategies, she says. To be honest, I don't think any of us, and he looks over at his soldiers, I don't think any of us expected to ever needing to draw our swords again.
Well, hopefully you won't be needing too much.
That's why I sent some reinforcements.
Yeah. We were all that she could spare. There's a big army headed for the grandfather tree.
Oh, dark times it is.
Indeed.
So if they're bringing a construct, they're probably bringing it on the road. Was there just a road leading out of there? Like a path?
There's a trail leading out of the village towards the south.
Might be bringing it along that. We could slow them down.
Well, if you have any suggestions, we are, I suppose, ready to do anything apart from what we already planned to do.
Throga, how do you feel about using that axe to put some trees in the way?
I feel fine. I like chopping things down. That's kind of what I do. That's kind of what I've been doing the whole time.
Perhaps we could make a little barricade like that.
Yeah, and I could carry some of it. I'm not weak, so
I've noticed.
yeah,
Some would even say you're
am.
strong.
yeah, a tiny bit.
Perhaps that's a start.
Mm.
Alright, if you need help, we are ready to carry out any actions you think is necessary. We might even be able to recruit some of the villagers. I'm sure they will aid in the defense.
Yes. Do you have any weapons for them?
Well, we do have a few spears and a few hunting bows. Nothing meant for war, but it might do. Might do.
All right, find.
Like, looks, don't mind that. It's supposed to fall down.
Right. Rally up all of the capable men in the village, women too, if there are anyone up for.
But you can see that it looks like very irresponsible. They're like men and women and children walking around the few streets, looking down at you from their houses and
for God's sake, just gather up the children and the helpless. Store
Alright.
them away somewhere.
Well,
This is war.
Alright.
Realize.
I suppose. I just didn't think the war would ever get here. Why would they attack this place?
Because they're dragon cultists and they're evil.
Yeah, but why now? It's been 40 years since they invaded.
I know nothing about them.
They have an unquenchable thirst for destruction. They killed my entire crew. So,
My
They-
condolences.
thank you.
It's
But-
terrible.
They will indeed tear down this place, burn it down, kill everyone if they can. So we're gonna have to try and make sure that they don't.
Alright, well, we'll get right to it.
All right, we will take care of the trees.
Barricade.
Very good. He turns around, points at his soldiers. Alright, we need to round up every able-bodied, and we need to get moving, grab some swords, and he starts to move around and command, and get those children, get them to the high ground, and it's just like, it's Elvish. And they start to move around, and you can see some of the civilians like, what? Is this serious? And, they get the children up, and like a sense of panic starts to spread throughout the village.
Great. I hate to put you to work, but I think you're more capable at moving and chopping than I am.
Seems like
But
it.
I'll join you out there. So let's see if we can put something in their way.
Indeed. Don't you have a great sword? Then you can at least try to chop 1-3 down.
I have a dagger.
I have.
It's
Then,
not that.
like-
Well,
As,
maybe
as
they.
you look into your pockets and your bags to see what you actually have, presumably.
I have a dagger.
Because-
I still have. I have a lantern. I have.
You also find the dagger of healing in the bottom of your bag.
Oh,
I have
nice.
2 daggers.
Oh, I guess you can cut off a branch or something.
You wield a tree to cut it down. But yeah, isn't the dagger of healing, so it just regrows.
Well,
Alright.
let's see what happens. Perhaps I can do something.
You head away from the town. So there's this like low parapet between the two like shoulders of the cliffs. And then the cliffs goes into the horseshoe with the village inside. Then you walk away from it down the south road towards some of the trees. There's some good trees near the road.
I mean, they probably had an axe at the village. I just forgot to ask.
God
Oh
damn.
well.
Gilbalist comes riding toward you.
Oh.
You forgot to ask about an axe, so I got it for us. And he throws. We have 2 axes, in fact. He throws them on the ground.
Probably haven't
Yeah.
chopped down a tree in 50 years. Let's see how this goes.
All right, you want to go to each of your own tree and start to cut it down.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Make strength athletics check as you
Come
walk
on. Don't
Yeah.
fail me now, Balthazar. You've chopped trees before. It's in your backstory.
It's your
Alright.
vocation.
15?
15, all right.
Alright, it's not.
23.
Alright, it's not
23,
Bethroga,
alright.
but it is there.
You're cutting down a tree, and then you hear Bethroga's tree fall into the road. And you are
Yes.
maybe halfway, so you work for another 10 minutes or so, and then your tree also falls down next
You're
to
slow!
I guess Kalabalish will also try to jump on up. He just starts to cut, and he's really slow. When you're done, it's like not even halfway.
Jesus.
This is harder than I thought it would be.
Slow!
Wood is so much harder than flesh.
I tend to agree. But you're still slow.
Gets the word from the axe again.
Do you think that'll be enough to slow them down at least?
I don't know. I'm gonna drag, shouldn't we drag the trees onto the road, or do they just kind of lay
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
road already?
They're falling from either side onto the road with all the
Well,
branches
we might-
and stuff.
Well, since it's
course- Sorry, continue.
No, continue.
Alright. When they fell, of course, everything is covered with ash, so it just whirled up this storm of ash around you. Almost blinding you for a moment.
Well, since I'm pretty good at this, I guess that I could just chop down at least one more.
Alright, make strength athletics.
At this point, I really hope that they're actually taking this road.
They're just taking the other way. Oh, no. Thank you for cutting down the trees for us.
17.
17, alright, you chop down on another tree, and when you're done, maybe a minute later, Kalabalish also finishes his tree, so now another 2 trees fall down.
That'll probably be enough.
Yeah, probably.
You can also hear a faint sound coming from the south, like a rumbling sound.
Oh, crap.
How far away?
Make a perception check.
4.
It's difficult to say. You can hear it. Who knows how far away it is? Maybe it's not even coming from this construct of the kobolds. Maybe it's an earthquake.
Could be.
A volcanic eruption, maybe.
Just in case, I say we head back.
Yeah.
I could set fire to these trees, but
well,
eventually
then
we'll
we
just
burn
weaken
the
it.
barricade down for them.
Yeah.
Well, trees
like
don't
a
burn
warning.
that fast.
Unless you have some sort of permanent fire spell thing.
Perpetual flame.
Let's just head back.
I don't think it's that powerful. It's like a perpetual wall of fire.
I cast minor illusion
Oh,
to make fire in a 5-foot cube on
and
the
it's
trees.
like hard borders, so when it
it does.
it just cuts off.
Yeah. Also, it only lasts a minute.
All
So-
right.
so I'm just
Kalabalish
praying.
just looks at it with his arms crossed.
It's not real.
What's your spell DC?
16.
Looks at it. Where did these flames come from?
It's not,
Ah, goddamn
it's
it!
not real.
What do you mean it's not real?
It's an illusion.
Ah, I see.
Anyway, I say we
Puts his hand into it. Ah, I see. Clever.
Do you hear the rumbling? I think we should head back.
It's getting louder.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we should head back and prepare for battle. Really.
All right. You get back on your horses and ride back to the village. So the barricade you made is maybe 300 feet away from the gate.
Yep.
As you get back, you can hear shouts and screams and
Oh.
We really put
That
some
kind of
chaos into this.
coming inside. And as you get in, you can see people running around in confusion. Some are like running with spears under their arms, just piling them next to the gate, and some pick them up and then they put them down again and walk over and pick up a bow. And you can see a few of the other old elves holding children, and they're running into houses, and then they run back out and no, we have to get further up. And they're like clustered around, and then they move up onto the high ground at the far end of the village, and the elf you spoke with in the beginning walks over to you. Preparations are underway.
How many?
We
men?
are. Well, we have been able to gather 15 additional fighters.
Great.
I guess we could recruit the elders, but
No.
I think there should be a limit.
Yeah, there's no point in recruiting.
I guess we could arm the elders and the children in case.
Well, there's no point wasting weapon on someone who don't know how to use them.
I guess it's true. Come over and see, and he shows you to a barrel full of arrows, and he picks up one of them. At least they're sharp. You can see it's not a war arrow. It's a pretty flimsy arrow, probably made for hunting.
All right. Well, let's get in position and see what construct we're actually dealing with. Perhaps
You
there's
want my
some
men
way
to
to
align the sights?
Yeah, get ready, and I'll also go to the side so I can see if I can get a view of whatever this thing is.
That's like well, I can make a quick drawing. Hang on a second.
Oh my god, art class. Let's go.
I don't know if you can see this, but it's kind of like
Nice.
horseshoe shape of the cliffs, and then there's the barricade or the wall, the palisade, and then the whole village is kind of like built up around this area.
Okay, I see.
So you could get on the high grounds on the sides, or however you want to position the people.
Can I borrow some of those bows and arrows? Or spears, or something throwable?
But by all means, they bring you a barrel full of javelins and
Nice!
another barrel full of hunting arrows.
Nice! How many javelins can I carry?
I'd say you could probably like take maybe 7, a bundle of 7 with some leather cord around, and then sling it on your back
Cool.
or something like that.
7 javelins. Nice.
But it might impede you in some way.
Then I'm just gonna take 6.
Well, it's still probably gonna do something.
5.
All right.
5
Take 5 and put them on your back.
I'm gonna go to the high ground on one of the sides just to get an overview.
You can see one of the warriors standing there, a woman with a bow and arrows, and she looks uncomfortable with the weapon in her hands. Are we really supposed to fight?
It'll be fine.
If you wanna live.
He like tries to take aim at something, shoots an arrow, and just flies away in distance. I thought someone else was supposed to do this work.
Well,
can't always.
they died.
They died?
They're dead or sick.
All of them?
Something about, like,
no,
the
of course.
dragon plague.
You're doomed. She just
No.
looks into the distance. You're doomed.
Alright, first thing you need to know about using a bow, just calm down. Steady your breath.
She tries to steady her breath. She fails.
God damn it.
Take your time.
It's just... Alright. Tries again. Fails. No! We're all gonna die! She
Calm
looks
down.
around at the other warriors. This isn't funny. We shouldn't be here.
Jesus. Okay. Do we see the construct yet?
You can hear the rumbling is getting louder, and then you can see the trees start to shake in the distance. One of the trees fall over.
Not sure how trees will stop that. Let's see.
Then another tree falls over.
God damn it.
And you can see smoke rising from the place of the disturbance. Black smoke. And you can see the barricade you made. And at that barricade, something appears. It looks like some kind of Trojan horse, but more crude than you might expect, clad with metal plates just put on the sides here and there. And you get a sense that it's supposed to look like a dragon with a head in front. And you can see ropes that can maybe pull the head up in front of it, kind of like a swan. And then there's this dragon body behind it with fake claws on the sides. And the whole thing just rumbles forward. Presumably on some kind of wheels underneath the whole construction. And then they get to the trees in front of you. And the whole thing stops. And you can see from chimneys black smoke billowing up behind it.
How
And then
far
a
away
few
is
kobolds jumps out from the doors on the sides. So it's around 300 feet away.
this? That is
and then-
definitely too far for a firebolt.
Indeed.
The elven woman with the bow, maybe. Watch this. And she draws it.
Oh god. Is it a longbow?
Okay.
No.
Oh god.
Ah,
Oh, it's just a
these
hunting
natural
bow.
20.
She shoots, and the arrow just disappears into the trees.
Did the kobolds notice?
No, it's so far away.
That's a great start.
And you can see
Nice.
one of the other elves standing nearby. He is like missing an eye, and he's also holding. You can see that they get out, kind of like look at them, and then you can see one of them brings out a yellow like ribbon and walks over, and then they climb back in.
I say, I mean, this fight is gonna happen, so it doesn't matter if we're attacking now. So I'm just gonna throw a firebolt.
All right. What are you aiming at?
Were there ropes around? Can I see the ropes like that?
Yeah,
are
there are
around?
ropes attached to the front.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for that. It's like an
Alright.
impossible shot.
Do you have what's the range of your firebolt?
It's only 120 feet.
All right, so you can't really shoot that far.
No.
You know that the spell will end at that distance.
They'll just. Well.
But you can do it for morale if you want to.
It's like a flare.
It's
Oh,
up to you. It's still just snowing with the ash from above. And it's night, so the lights from the village are kind of like backlighting the whole place.
gonna tell the woman just when it approaches, just see if you can hit the ropes, and then I'm gonna hit down.
She laughs at you. All right, you head down to the gate. You can see the construct is moving again, rolling over your barricades with a crunching sound. And then it gets clear of the trees and is making its way directly towards the gate.
We need to do something fast.
And you can hear singing coming from inside. Boom, boom, boom.
It's like playing Sea of Thieves. Oh god. Jesus.
And then you can see the ropes start to move back, and as they retract, the head in front of it rises up. This crude rendition of a dragon head. And then other ropes on the side make wings unfold, like wooden constructions with membranes of canvas, really crude, unfolding the wings on each side as it's still rolling towards you.
Hmm.
You can hear
Not
one
sure.
else nearby. What is that thing?
Is my horse still here?
Yeah, it's being held by one of the villagers.
Alright. I assume the gate is closed, right?
As you think about that, you can see some of the others. Oh, they run over and then close the gate and put the bar on.
Well, maybe. But Throga, are you ready to defend the city, the village?
I am.
This metropole of elven kind.
I'm gonna see if I can get some attention.
Good
I get-
luck.
Thank you. I get on my horse.
That's such support.
I get on the horse.
Everybody looks at you. Balthazar, you want me to come with you? You're not going out, are you?
Don't worry.
It's dangerous.
And I know, but the battle in here will be as well. So hopefully we can split that danger. Defend the people. Stay here.
Well, if you could see if you can get close and find any sort of disadvantages on that machine and then report them back to me. I'm pretty sure I'm better at hitting stuff than you are.
I'll see what I can do.
Right.
Cool.
The thing is now 200 feet away from the gate.
Alright, I am going to command them to open the gate and then close it behind me.
Well, it looks at you. Are you mad? You're not going up there. It will not be a certain doom. Can you not see it? And you can hear one of the children in a nearby house. Daddy, is that a dragon? Oh my son. I don't think so.
We've killed a dragon before, and that was a real dragon.
Just do it.
Alright. And they lift and you can just see in their faces, my god, there goes a man. A crazy man. And they lift the bar off. And they open the gate in front of you.
Alright. I'm gonna ride out and sort of veer off. I'm not going like straight for them.
Yeah, like, came towards it and to the side.
Yeah, but
Are you
still
going at full speed?
no.
Well, it might grant you some kind of advantage if they were to shoot at you if you were going at full speed. Just saying. I mean, this is your job to make these kind of arguments.
True. I'll risk it.
All right.
Um,
Let's have an animal handling check. As you really put the spurs into the horse flanks. Twist the reins because that's how you get a horse to run faster.
that's very neutral. 10.
10. All right. You do your best. You don't get faster. You don't get slower. You stay in the saddle.
Okay.
Yay.
As I veer off to the side, I'm gonna still see if I can be within 120 feet of the construct.
All right.
And just throw a firebolt at.
Now that you get closer, you can see that it is made of wood, most of it, but it's covered in hides and metal plates. Just here and there, you can see gaps between the materials, letting out an intense orange light from within. Kind of like making it look like it's studded with burning red gems in the evening darkness.
I'm gonna throw a firebolt.
Alright, just
preferably perhaps the ropes. Are the ropes released entirely now that the
so
the
pulled
dragon
back
is
with the head, so they're still visible.
Alright.
Presumably holding the head up.
I'm going to go for the ropes.
Alright, make a attack roll.
Come
And Throgar, you can see this happening, and then the gate closes in front of you, and they put the thing back on.
26.
26. You fire the fireball. It flies straight and hits the rope, bursting it. And you can see the head in front of the construction kind of tips a bit. And apparently the elves take that as a signal because arrows start to rain down from the high ground and from the palisade. All the way around you. And then small ports open in the side of the construct, and out fires a few arrows at you.
Alright.
No, no.
That's your armor class.
Good old 12. I'm just gonna keep riding off to the side for now.
Alright. You start to make your way away, but before you get out of range, 3 arrows hit you.
No.
The first deals 5 piercing damage.
Alright.
It's not a large arrow, it's like a cobalt arrow, so it's not too bad. The second deals 7 piercing damage.
Alright.
And then the last one hits you critically well
No.
for 8 piercing damage.
Alright, I'm still
And then you
alive.
get out of range. Bethroga, you can see the construct is approaching. It is now within 100 feet of the gate.
How far can I throw?
Probably 60 feet.
Oh, god damn it.
But if you can convince me, maybe you can throw it further.
Well, I am really strong and I'm really good at throwing stuff. And maybe if I get angry,
She
Is
did
there
throw a
anything-
wheelbarrow once.
I
Actually,
did
the range
throw, and I did throw I did throw wheelbarrow out.
full of silver coins.
Yeah, full of silver coins out of a moving van.
And as you say that out loud, just thinking to yourself, Gilbaloo's like, oh, his money. Actually, the Diablo has a max range of 120 feet, so you don't even need to do it. It is with disadvantage because it's at maximum range.
Yes.
But you can throw a javelin.
I'm gonna aim it for one of the ropes. The last rope.
Alright. I like you assume it's the last rope.
I'm gonna
You can say it's the
aim
last
it for,
rope.
like, one of the ropes.
Alright. You get ready, get some lead up, and then start running. Make it throw.
Yes. What is the modifier for
Strength plus your proficiency bonus.
strength plus my proficiency? Oh, I didn't know I could use that for.
Yeah, I
how
figured
many
that out
was-
way too late as well.
21.
Is that with a disadvantage?
Yes, I rolled 2 14s.
Oh, well, alright.
Dang.
You throw the spear, or the javelin, and it flies close to the rope and just cuts half it, like whoosh, cutting it almost all the way through. You can see it's like starting to unfold a bit, but it's not totally cut.
Okay.
And you can see the arrows from the elves kind of like just sticking into the sides of the wood, and where they hit metal, it just pling, bounces off.
Yep.
The construct stops in front of the gate. At this point, Balthasar, what do you want to do?
Turn my horse around and cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Alright, like wheel it around, cast a spell. And you can see it has gotten within maybe 30 feet of the gate, where the construct stops. And you can still hear the singing from inside, the sound of a lot of kobold voices. Some drums going on, and some kind of machinery that causes a black smoke to billow out of the chimneys. And then the whole dragon head starts to lower until the mouth faces the gate. And
No.
then there's the sound of billows inside.
No.
And one of the elves looks up, then looks at you, Bethroga. What do you suppose that means?
It means that we should run. Now.
Where?
Away!
All
Away from the
right.
gate!
They start running. Make a dexterity save.
Dexterity save. Where's the modifier for that?
I wonder. It's
Wisdom.
wisdom.
19.
That's it. Or you just throw yourself away from the gate as the maw of the dragon head starts to light up with an orange glow, and some of them just look around. Oh yeah, we need to run! And all of them fail as saves.
You're a fool!
So they turn around and then they stumble over their own feet. Oh! And an infernal flames billow out of the mouth down onto the gate. Most of the flames are caught by the gate, shielding the elves on the ground. But one of them gets badly burned and he gets up, runs over into the village, being chased by someone with a blank. And in moments, the gate just crumbles into cinders and flames. And you can hear from inside, and then sound. It sounds like clapping, but it could also be high-fiving. Like,
Jesus Christ.
and then the whole machinery starts again to move towards the village as the dragon head rises up again. Bethroga, what do you want to do?
How is this dragon structured? There are these like patches of wood.
Mm.
Are there any patches of wood on the head, or is that just made of metal?
Well, it's mostly wood. Then it's covered with hides most of the places, and then some armor plates here and there. So there's a lot of wood going on. You can also see on the sides there's like a lot of portholes that can be opened from inside, and there's small doorways. So there are like sally points where the kobolds can get out, and presumably people can get in.
Okay, so like, I assume that this construction of the dragon kind of has a neck.
Mm.
Okay, and I have just jumped out of the way of getting like roasted. How far am I from the dragon?
So it's rumbling through the remnants of the gate. So you are maybe 10 feet away from the front of the
Okay,
construction.
then I'm gonna aim for the neck with my axe. No, wait. First, I'm gonna get angry. Always get angry first.
Angry. All right.
Always gonna channel that anger first.
All right. You channel your anger, and then you leap towards the neck.
Yes.
Make an attack roll.
Make an attack roll, indeed. Jesus Christ, where is my fake dice?
Well, you really need some physical dice soon. We've almost been playing for a year.
Yeah.
We have for a year.
We should be
23.
23. You fly up, swing the axe, and just bite into the wood of the neck. This has some damage. To see how hard you hit.
How hard do I hit? I hit for math.
That's pretty hard.
Oh no, you hit for not a number.
I hit for 15.
Alright. You hit it, and the axe goes straight through one of the beams of the construction. And the whole thing starts to twist a bit. And then you can see, because the rope has been weakened, the additional strain starts to really tear the rope up until it snaps. And the whole head kind of like turns a bit, and then falls down on the ground.
That was nice.
The construction.
Yeah.
And you can hear from inside. And the music changes from that to something like, I don't know, something like
It's death metal.
Okay, so for my next move, I'm just gonna try to get away and hide behind something and hope they don't shoot arrows for me.
Alright. There's probably some barrels of arrows you can get behind.
Nope.
Make a stealth check.
I forget the modifier for stealth again.
Dexterity.
Dexterity.
Dextoire.
14?
14.
15?
Alright. Balthasar, you can see that the construct has broken through the gate with some kind of fire weapon from the mouth. And then, for some reason, the head has just collapsed. The whole neck has fallen down in front of it. And that has momentarily stopped the construct. So it's kind of like stuck in the gateway with the palisades on either side. Still with arrows flying down, hitting the sides, but it doesn't seem to have much effect.
All right.
Except making it look like a porcupine or something like that.
Well, that has some effect.
I'm
It's like a porcupine.
I'm gonna start riding back towards it.
You can hear the same child. Daddy, is that a porcupine? Shush, my child.
Yeah, I'll ride back towards it, and the small portholes in the side. I assume none of them are open right now.
No, it's like they open it, boom, shoot out, and then they fall down again.
I'm going to hold my action
All
to
right.
throw a firebolt into one of them if they open it.
All right. You can see the moment you've been waiting for happens immediately after.
Oh.
5 portholes open on either side, and arrows start to fly out. 2 of them hits some of the elven defenders, and they take them in the shoulders and in the stomach. One of them just doubles over and falls down from the palisade. But you get your chance. You can see they're open, and for a moment you can look inside and see the kobolds wearing metal plates, wielding tiny crossbows, and there's just this intense red glow from inside.
Let's see what happens. Oh, that is actually as high. A 19, so that'd be what? Math 27.
27. All right.
Ah,
The firebolt goes straight through one of the portholes as the lid is about to close. So you don't see the effect, but roll some damage.
Come on now. 19 damage.
19 damage. You don't see the effect, but you hear it.
Oh, that's enough. Seems to have worked. Alright. Great.
On the other side of the construct, Vathroga, you can see more of these portholes open up and the arrows shoot out at the elven defenders. And from the last of the holes, there's it looks like a bottle or something, but then you see it's a firebomb, and it hits the parapet, and the flames spread around, and the elves have to retreat from that section of the wall, still shooting the arrows, but they're just getting stuck inside the wood of the construct. Yeah, you're still hidden behind some barrels.
can I try to do the same thing that Balthasar did and then throw my javelins into one of the portholes? Or are they closed now?
Yeah, they're just closed, but you can prepare an action to do that.
I want to prepare an action.
All right. So Balthasar.
Yep. Is it still stuck, like, in the gate?
For the moment, you can hear some grinding sound going on, but at the moment it's stationary.
Alright, so it's difficult to, like, move past it.
It is blocking the gate.
Alright.
You would have to jump palisade.
Yeah, that probably won't work out. Yep. I think I'm just gonna go for... I assume since most of this thing is made of wood, I can see some wood on the back of it.
Okay.
I'll just firebolt it.
Alright. Make an attack roll.
18.
18. You hit the construct. But the firebolt hits the surface and makes a black scar on it. But it doesn't seem to do anything. It's going to take more to light it on fire.
Fair
It seems
enough.
the animal hides that have been dressed over most of it has been soaked beforehand.
Makes sense. Yeah, that'll probably be it for now then, if I can't move past it.
Alright. Bethroga, you can see a door open and 2 kobolds jump out with heavy axes and start to make their way towards the front.
Yes.
You want to take this opportunity, or do you want to save it?
I want to take it and try to shoot one of them with a javelin.
Alright. You get up out of your barrel, then whoosh. Let's have an attack roll. And let's see. You could do it with advantage because they haven't seen you.
Aha!
Suddenly there's this dwarf jumping out of a barrel.
Aha!
Harpoon!
23.
23? That definitely hits. Just hit the leading kobold straight in the chest, piercing the metal armor. Let's have some damage.
What damage does it? I forget what damage a javelin does.
1d6.
1d6.
Plus your strength, plus your range? Does that apply to range attack?
No, I don't think it applies to range attack. I only think that it applies to melee attacks.
Alright. So
Okay.
just your strength.
Yes. 8.
8 damage. Alright. It pierces the chest of the kobold, but it doesn't die. It like grabs it, shaking a finger at you.
I take another javelin. Shoot it at the same kobold.
Alright, make an attack roll.
Just a dwarf rising up from the barrel and being
How
like,
many
"Ah!"
does it take?
22.
That hits. So you hit like the same spear and it splits that one down. It's again. Let's have
10.
10 damage. 10 damage. And the kobold just looks at it. It keels over.
Whee!
Then
I
the
imagine
other
that's the
kobold-
noise Bathroga actually makes. Whee!
Huzzah!
The other kobold pushes the dying one aside and then continues running up and swings the axe at the head of the dragon. Starts to cut something off,
Oh shit.
but it's not making a lot of progress. So then, Balthasar, so you are at least 120 feet away from the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I started riding back towards it, so.
Alright.
But yeah, I'm within that range. Since I threw a fireball.
Alright. You know what? They're not gonna do that. It's your turn, also.
Alright. I feel like I have 2 spells that would be so good for this situation. I have sort of as consequences.
Oh. I see.
Spicy.
Can I... How tall is the construct? Can I see over it if I'm like behind
No,
it?
it's maybe twice as tall as a horseman.
Alright, fair enough. Jesus.
It's a big thing.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm just curious as to what would happen if I do this, so I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame on the construct itself.
I think you have to target a creature with that spell,
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
because it has to make a save, and inanimate objects can't make saves.
It's so lifelike.
Yeah, it's a good argument. I
It's like-
thought it was alive too. It looks like a giant hedgehog.
No, porcupine. We're not.
Alright.
We're not at the final state yet.
Yeah, you're right. Damn,
That was good.
can't move past it. Fuck
So
it.
Sacred Flame kind of like has to connect to
Yeah,
a target.
Yeah, makes sense. Fuck it. Prepare another firebolt in case they open again.
All right. How far away are you? How close have you ridden?
I've probably written within. I'm pretty close at this point. Like maybe 60 feet, 60, 40. So like I want to be close enough that I can like, when they move, that I can get in
All right.
fairly fast. So
So 40 feet.
yeah, something like that.
All right. Bethroga. You can see the one surviving kobold is still chopping at the some kind of part of the neck structure with a
Okay.
axe.
I'm sensing that this is probably bad, and the kobold should not be allowed to do what it's doing. So I'm gonna go for a reckless attack towards that kobold.
Hell yeah.
You draw your great axe, push the barrel aside, and just walk out. And it's like still working. Try to work faster.
Yes.
Make an attack.
So
I like to think that a reckless attack is just like you start to spin with the axe and hope you hit.
20, not a natural 20, but 20 total.
Alright, that hits.
Nice. Okay, and it hits for... Sorry. No, I'm not sorry for the kobold. 17 damage.
17, alright. Well, do you want to carve it in half, or do you want to keep it in some other? Alright, you just swing the axe, carve it in twice. Or twice? Carve it in twine.
Carve it in two.
You're just like, carve it in twine. And the axe I was holding just clatters to the ground.
Yes. Can I run and get back to my barrel, please?
Sure. You run back. Make a stealth check.
19.
Alright. 19. Balthazar, you can see portholes opening on your side of the construct.
Yes!
This is my chance.
Your attack?
Let's see. Oh, that's not bad. 13 plus 21.
21.
Yeah.
You cast a firebolt and it flies through the porthole once again. It's like amazing marksmanship with fireballs.
It's the one thing I can do.
And it hits something on the inside.
Great. Let's see. Math. 13.
13.
Yeah.
You hear another clatter inside and a scream. And then that porthole closes. But out of the porthole next to it, you can see a tube sticking out, pointing towards you.
Oh shit.
And then you can hear... and the tube lights up with a red glow from inside. And then you see flames just spray out towards you. Make a dexterity save.
What about the horse?
You can use the horse's dexterity if you want to.
I don't think it's better. I don't know, maybe.
Well, you decide. Or you can try to make an amazing dodge with the horse with an animal handling check.
Sure. I'll actually take that. That's better.
Right. Then what is that?
Oh, yeah, no. 11.
11. Alright. Bad.
Oh.
You try to twist the horse aside, but it's kind of like, I want to go the other way, and like, whoa, so just spin around, and then you're hit by a spray of this fire. But it's at quite a distance, so you take 3 fire damage.
Oh, that's
some
not
of
too
this burning liquid lands on your hand and starts to burn, and like, quickly brush it off.
I can deal with that.
And of course, from the rest of the portholes, more arrows fly out, going for some of the arrows. But none of them hit. They take from behind the palisade and then shoot back. Utterly ineffective with their shitty bows.
God, they're useless.
Then one of the elves, one of the 5 warriors of the leader that you spoke to, runs up to the construct and starts to climb up onto the side of it, kind of like using the arrows sticking out of the side as handles.
Maybe he's not useless.
He gets up on the top and looks around, but he looks confused as he gets to the top.
God damn it!
What a roller coaster!
Bethroga, what do you want to do?
How's the head looking? Has it fallen off?
It didn't fall off. It kind of like it's still connected to the rest of the construct, but it has fallen down and is lying in front. And presumably, it's what's keeping the construct stationary.
Well, then I'm going to run for it and try to chop it all the way off.
All right, make an attack roll.
22.
That hits. You swing the axe, hit the beam. Splinters going everywhere. Let's have some damage.
13.
13. So it's still attached, but you think it's just held on by a thread almost. You could.
I'm gonna try to hit it again.
The axe comes back around.
22 again.
That hits. Let's have some homage.
18 damage.
Alright. You hit it again with a thundering clap. Or boom or whatever.
Clap. That sounds anti.
With a thunderous crash. Beams and wood splinters flying everywhere, and then the whole hit. You can see it's disconnected now from the rest of the construct, and it kind of like collapses like a barn to the side. It just becomes this heap of firewood, basically. And then from inside the construct, you can hear, "Ah, woohoo!" And then the whole construct starts to move again, slowly rumbling past you.
Ah, okay.
Giant wheels crunching over the firewood of the broken head.
Ah!
And you as this happens, you can see the elf on the top, kind of like whoa, as the whole thing starts to move again. And he loses his balance, falls,
No!
and just like those wooden figures that you put at the top of those ramps with all the sticks. So they like tick, fall all the way down. He kind of like does that with all the arrows.
Ah!
And then a hatch is opened at the top, and a kobold looks out, wearing a really crude plate armor with a blackened plate helm with a giant plume of feathers. Looks down at you, takes the feathers off, just makes a salute to you. Fuck you, generous host! And puts it back in and disappears into the hatch.
I can't get any more angry than I am now. I can't get a super angry boss.
Well, I guess you could frenzy.
Oh yeah, you are berserker.
Yeah.
I assume that's like double rage kind of.
Starting when you choose this, blah 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 blah, you can go into a frenzy when you rage. If you do so, for the duration of your rage, you can make a single melee weapon attack as a bonus action on each of your turns. When the rage ends, you suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh.
So you get an extra attack if you frenzy. I mean, you might have to frenzy just because it's in character.
Well, I think I have to.
Yeah.
Like stamp your feet and steam start come out of your ears.
I just don't think it would be. It would be out of character not to.
All right. And you can also hear the song has changed inside back to boom, 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 boom. And then 2 portholes open above you, and these tubes stick out and then point down at you. Make 2 dexterity saves.
2 dexterity saves. I rolled 14 both times.
13?
14.
14. All right. So you dodge, but you still take half damage. So the first spray rains down, and you get out of most of it, but some of it still lands at your feet and your hands, and you have to brush off these liquid flames. So you take 5 fire damage.
That's not too bad.
And then the second spray rushes down. But you also manage to dodge out of that, mostly. blocking most of it with your axe, maybe. And you take 2 fire damage from that.
That's not too bad.
And then the grass all around you is on fire, and what grass is not on fire is covered with ash. And you can see there's one elf warrior sitting with his sword, just walking back and forth. The flames reflected in his eyes. And you hear a child's voice from nearby. Daddy, is that a dwarf? Yes, son, it is. Then it is Balthazar. You can see the whole thing has started to move in again and clearing the rubble of the gate, allowing you to move inside. And you can just see the Throgar doing all the matrix dodges when flames fly around.
I'm gonna ride up to the side of the construct, and then I assume I saw the hatch open at the top of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get off my horse and start climbing the arrows to get to that hatch.
Alright. Let's have an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics. Alright.
Indeed. Acrobatic.
Acrobatique.
19.
Acrobatic.
19. You leap off the horse, land on side, and then you grab like 2 arrows. You start to make your way up. Then immediately next to you, a porthole opens, and there's someone leaning out with a small like hand crossbow, starts waving it around.
Good times.
Do you want to do anything about it, or?
Yeah, so I have an action. Although it sees me. I'm gonna... So is it like right next to me?
Yeah, it's like right next to you. It's like leaning out, holding on to something from the inside, maybe just trying to get an aim on you, but you are really close, so it's difficult to aim with a small crossbow.
I'm gonna take my dagger and just try and stab him in the eye.
The dagger of healing?
No, just my normal dagger.
Well, you vaguely remember maybe that if you don't activate the dagger, it's not gonna heal, so it still works as a magical weapon.
Oh, that's true.
It's up to you.
Oh, why not? The dagger of healing is fancy.
It has like a jade handle carved in swirling patterns.
But I mean, other than the healing, it has all the properties of just a normal dagger, right?
Yeah.
Well,
but it counts as a magical weapon in case you face a basilisk.
Yeah,
for example.
Maybe this is a basilisk in disguise. Let's see. Come on.
Kobold Rangers.
12.
Basilisks in disguise. 12?
Yeah.
You try to stab him, but he's wearing this crude plate armor and the dagger just skids along, causing all these rainbow-colored sparks to fly as a blade.
Shit, then I'm just gonna...
It made a pretty dent in the metal.
I'm gonna keep climbing up. Just use all my movement to climb, basically.
Alright, you get onto the top, and you can see there's a kind of like a flat surface at the top, and you can see up ahead there's the hatch. There are maybe 2 hatches in total, as far as you can see.
Alright. That's gonna be it for my turn. No.
Alright. You have moved enough for half a step. Like, and that's your turn.
Yep.
Alright.
I'm just gonna hold on for dear life. As this thing moves.
You're on top of this thing, so it's not too difficult to...
Alright.
Bethroga.
Yes.
You can see now that this thing is moving in towards the center of the village. And at top of it, Balthazar has appeared.
Fancy.
You are just surrounded by this sea of liquid flames.
Fancy. So, this lovely machine, the wheels, what do they happen to be made of?
Make a perception check.
I can't tell what this
I
material
can't
is.
see what they're made of.
Well, it's very difficult because there's this plume of ash being thrown up all the time and flames.
17.
17. despite all the stuff, you can see that they appear to be made of stone, like huge rollers of stone.
God damn it. What's beside them? Is it just like, is the entire like underbelly of the machine made of stone?
No, it's like a slightly sloped wooden sides going down to the close to the ground, and then there's a bit of clearing, and then you can see somewhere underneath it the wheels. So they are not on the outsides of the construction; they are kind of like towards the middle. And then it looks like it's made of wood. Everything else on the bottom.
So I'm just gonna try to attack some of the wood. I'm gonna try to attack some of the wood close to the wheels, close to the bottom. So like the sort of wooden area around the bottom that's closest to the wheels.
Alright, so you want to get underneath the construct. Alright. You move through the flames and duck under the cover, the outer covers.
Yes.
And the sound is just deafening in here. The stone rollers crunching over the remnants of the wooden head. Splinters flying all over the place.
Can I see anything in here? Is it just like total darkness?
Well, you have dark vision, so you can see.
Oh.
You can see there's a bottom made of wood with some planks going back and forth to support it. Then the wheels, the stone rollers, seem to be coming out of the bottom. There's maybe 5 inches of space between the rollers and the bottom, where you can just make out the red glow coming from inside. And then you can see what appears to be some kind of hatch, like a pull-down hatch in the middle of the construct between the wheels.
How fancy is that? Is there any
It's
way,
like a string hanging down from the ledge?
So was it like the wheels, like were they attached by wood or are they attached by like stone or metal?
You can't see where they're attached because they disappear into the bottom of the construct, and then whatever's holding them is inside the structure.
Oh. Then I guess I'm gonna have to get into the construct. Pull the lever.
Alright, you pull the string. Make a dexterity save.
Oh god.
Lava.
19.
19. Alright. You pull the string and you immediately get a sense that this is not going to open the hatch. And then you see the small bottle of something coming down towards you, and you jump aside and it smashes on the ground. So you only take 2 acid damage as it splashes up on your legs.
Oh god. What the fuck?
And then you can hear a tiny bell ring somewhere. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh. God damn it.
Alright, it's 9 o'clock, so we probably can't finish this fight.
Ah!
Right before my master plan.
Well, let's have a... Well, we'll first have the construct's turn, and then we can have Balthazar's turn, and then we can see if you make a good clip or not.
Alright, let's see.
So the whole construct will move close to one of the nearest buildings. And then where the head was attached, there's a clattering sound as a wooden gate opens. It would have kind of like opened into the neck of the construct if the neck had still been there. And then a ram swings out and hits the side of the building, and the whole building shakes. Boards falling down from the roof, screams from inside, "No, our house!" An old elf looking out, shaking his cane. Get going, you bastards! And the whole thing gets ready for another ram. And the building starts to sack. Balthazar.
Alright.
What do you want to do?
It has come to this. I'm going to run up to one of the hatches and see if I can open it.
Alright. You run up. You can see on the outside there's an iron ring sitting kind of like towards one end of it. On one side.
Yeah, that seems like a handle.
It looks like a handle.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull and see if I can get this thing open.
Alright, make a dexterity save.
Oh god.
God damn it.
Let's see. Save. Do I get anything? No, 14.
14. All right. As you pull, the ring comes off, and you're like pulling a rope. As you do so, you hear a spring sound. As tiny darts fly out all around the hatch, rains up towards you, and you just duck out of the way, and you're hit by one of them. You take 1 piercing damage.
Okay.
Ouch.
And then you can hear Bill ding, 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 going off inside.
So, if the ring is gone, is there like a hole or anything where it was? I can like stick my fingers.
Well, there's
into
like a
it?
rope attached to the ring, and the rope goes into a hole in the hatch.
So like, can I see if I can just grab the corners of the hatch and see if I can like pry it open?
First, make a dexterity check. See if you can get your fingers into the seams.
Just check. 60.
If you had some tools, it would, of course, make it easy. You can get your fingers in. This is not like perfect seams at all. It's made presumably by kobolds, so you get your fingers in. Let's have a strength athletics check.
14.
14. You lift, but it's not budging.
Well, my master plan is failed.
All right, and as you do so, the ram makes an all at the building, and it collapses in dust and ash and cinders on the field. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
It's gonna be brilliant for D-Nog and Bright Scratch to come back.
I hope that both of you will be here next time. Otherwise, it's going to be weird. So suddenly they're just thrown into this crazy situation, and you're like, "Your turn."
I'm on Christmas holiday, so.
No,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Chris, you're always here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not going to a concert again, so I'll be here for the next year.
Excellent. The next year.
Nice.
Even when there's a break, I'll be here Thursdays.
He's just sitting there.
Just a 2-hour stream with you just sitting.
Just 2 hours of like the kind of acting with no lines or anything. You just have to act with your face.
Intensely stare at the camera.
All right. Well, we will be back next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central European Time.
Indeed.
To see if this village will be saved or not.
Hopefully.
If this construct will be cracked or not. If the party will survive or not. For the soft Christmas special next time, maybe. Who knows? Instead of presents under the tree, there will be a battle. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it.
Indeed.
See you next time. Goodbye.